Welcome to episode 45 of the Crazy Sock Lady podcast. My name is Kay, and this is my podcast all about my knitting adventures here in Havelock, North Carolina, where I live with my husband, our 2 sons, and our 2 dogs. I feel a little discombobulated still from the weekend, so we're just going to throw that out there at the beginning. This is a little bit of a crazy, rambly episode. That is why. This past weekend was Needles Up and Maryland Sheep and Wool, and it was amazing, and we're going to talk more about it later. But if you've been to one of these festivals, do you experience the crazy, come down after the weekend? It's been insane. I have wanted to do nothing but sit and knit, partly because I always feel so inspired after being around so many other fiber artists and makers. And so yeah, part of it is that I just want to sit and knit. I've started a new sock design. I just feel so inspired, but then at the same time, I feel so completely exhausted. And I think part of that is the introvert in me that, can you guys hear Chloe? Every single time it's like a child. But part of it is the introvert in me that after so much socializing, I kind of need to retreat into my shell a little bit and have some time to recoup, I guess. So yeah, feeling a little bit crazy from the weekend still. But I wanted to go ahead and do an episode this week. I thought about waiting until next week, but I was worried there might be way too much to show if I wait another week, because I'm going to go ahead and show you guys all of the Maryland haul, talk about Needles Up and Maryland Sheep and Wool, and then all of my other just regular knitting as well. And you're possibly wondering, you said you're going to talk about Maryland this video and show the haul. Why aren't you doing that on a special episode with a vlog? Well, that's because I was a failure at vlogging. A complete and total failure. I think when we left Needles Up, I realized I didn't video anything. The only thing I videoed that day was I videoed the clock in the car that said what time we were leaving, and I videoed some of my knitting in the car. That was it. It was so much of just being in the moment, which I think is amazing. I think we need to definitely do more, but then I was disappointed at the same time that I didn't, I wasn't going to have anything to share. But I do have some pictures that I will just pop onto the end of this episode, so make sure you stay tuned for that if you want to see some pictures. But yeah, I'm sorry guys, there's no vlog from Maryland. It was such an amazing weekend. Chloe's saying hello. Such an amazing weekend. We'll definitely talk more about it later, but yeah, there's no vlog. That's why the haul and talking about it is going to be included in this episode, because I was a failure. But let's go ahead and jump right in with the regular episode now that we've got a little bit of talk about the weekend out of the way. And there will definitely be more. There will be a whole section for it later on in the episode. So first, I should let you guys know where you can find me. You can find me as The Crazy Sock Lady on Instagram and Ravelry. And we do have a group for the podcast on Ravelry. If you go to the groups tab and search Crazy Sock Lady Podcast, it'll pop right up. That's where you're going to find knit-alongs, giveaways, all kinds of fun stuff. It's going to be over there. If you look down below in the down bar here on YouTube, you're going to find links to everywhere that you can find me, as well as a link to the podcast group, show notes, all of that's going to be down below, as well as times if you would like to skip ahead to a certain portion of the podcast. I've got some coffee, of course. This is in my Colorado You Were Here mug. And I got a couple of these as gifts. I came home with 4 of them as gifts this weekend. So that was a lot of fun. But I haven't opened them yet. They're still in the boxes over there. We're so close to our move at this point, but I just thought there's no point in me even opening them, and they're not going to fit in the cabinet in the kitchen at this point. So they're just going to stay in the box until we move. Yeah, so I'm sad I'm not going to get to use them yet, but yeah, they'll be nice and safe until we get to Arizona. All right, first up in the Ravelry group, I want to mention the Swapless Swaps that we have going on right now. The first one, the yarn dyer, is Polka Dot Creek. There are 6 spots available in that as of this morning, and that is due May 15th. So make sure if you want to participate in that, you get signed up and paid by May 15th. The next one is All About Yarn. There are 23 spots available for that one, and it closes June 15th. So head over, there's links down below to the Swap with Swaps. The threads are going to have all of the information for how to sign up, how much everything costs. The gist of it is you get 10 40-yard minis, and the prices range varying on your location. The prices are $35 to $45. And I love the Swap with Swaps. I think they are so much fun to get to try out a new yarn dyer. Maybe you've never heard of them, you want to give their yarn a try, or you just want a ton more minis for your scrappy projects, because that's always a lot of fun. Knit-alongs. We have a couple going on right now. The first one, they're both year-long knit-alongs. The first one is the Sock Crazy Cow for 2018. This is any socks that you make throughout the year. Baby socks do not count for this, but any others, shorties, long ones, it doesn't matter. Head over and get them entered in the thread. We do drawings every 3 months. The next one is the Crazy Sock Lady Designs Make-Along. This is for any patterns of mine that you knit. I do have some crochet as well. So any of those that you do, you can enter them into that make-along. We did have a make-along end, and this was the bag make-along that I co-hosted with Amber of Makers Haven. And I went ahead and closed the thread. I was doing a drawing from my Ravelry group. Amber's doing one from Instagram for the hashtag bag make-along. And I'm not sure if she has done the prize winner yet. If she did it on Insta Stories, I might have missed it. But yes, the one from my Ravelry group, I went ahead and I closed the thread. I've done the drawing. We had 53 entries into that, and the prize is this skein of yarn from Gotti Yarn Co. And the colorway is Star Spangled Man. It is 100 grams, 462 yards, 75% superwash merino, and 25% nylon. It is a very, very squishy yarn. So this is the prize, and I went ahead and drew the winner this morning, and it was post number 28, which is Anna from Canada. So congratulations, Anna. If you would just get in touch with me and let me know your full name and your mailing address via Ravelry, I will get this in the mail to you. All right, I think that is it for administrative items. Those are the only 2 knit-alongs that are current right now, are the year-long ones. And I had a lot of good suggestions for knit-alongs that you guys would like to see now or in the future. At this current moment, we're only going to do the 2 year-long knit-alongs. I'm kind of waiting to see what next one I feel inspired to start. And I feel like life is just going to get really, 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 really crazy the end of this month, beginning of next month. So at the moment, we're just going to have the 2 year-long ones going till maybe like mid-June, July 1st or something. But of course, I will let you guys know as soon as I decide on the next knit-along. Now it's time for finished objects. And for all finished objects and works in progress, there are links down below to the projects pages on Ravelry. It's going to have needles, any modifications I've made, yarn, pattern, all information is going to be there. If I forget to include something on the projects page or talk about it and you have a question, just comment below or send me a message. First finished object I will show you are my April Desert Vista Dye Works socks. So if you are a regular viewer, you know that I am participating in Desert Vista Dye Works year-long knit-along using her yarn. And I finished my April ones just in the nick of time. It was like 9:30 the last night of April. But here they are. They are done. I just put one on blockers because I have another sock on the other blocker I have. But there they are. This was Fried Green Tomatoes is the colorway. And I did these on a US 1 2.25 millimeter needles, 64 stitches. And I did an afterthought heel, true afterthought heel. And I used the Kirby Werby afterthought heel tutorial on YouTube, which I will link below for you guys. Yeah, I just did a cuff down like I always do. And I love them. Now I did finish my, come on. Gracie wants to come up here. You cannot come up here, Clay. I did finish my Impressionist Mystery Knit Along, which was a mystery knit along by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade. So that is done, but I have not blocked it. So I'm not going to show it yet until it's blocked, because I feel like I would show it now and then I would want to show it again when it looks super nice and blocked and gorgeous. So I'm just going to wait until I block it, which hopefully I will next week, and then I will have it for the next podcast the following week. But I do have a finished, there's Gracie. See, hi. Look, you want to say hi? No. Say hi. Gracie needed some cuddles, and now she's done. She says, I just want to sit on your lap and I want you to pet me. I do not want to say hi to everybody. And she's the princess. She's the boss, pretty much. Okay, but I do have a finished shawl to show you guys. So I've been working on a design for a shawl for a little while now, and I've kind of kept it under wraps. I'm going to put Gracie down here. I've kind of kept it under wraps because I changed the design of it so many times and started it again so many times, but I finally decided on where I wanted to go with it. It's done, it's blocked, it's out to testers right now, so I'm ready to show you guys what it looks like, and I am so excited about it. Are you guys ready to see it? Here is my new shawl design, my very first shawl design ever. Woo! Dropping it. So the name that I decided on for this is Home is With You. I thought that would be the perfect way to kind of commemorate our move. When we've moved so much, our motto as a family has kind of been, home is wherever I'm with you. We actually have it on a sign on our fireplace mantle in the living room. So I thought this would be perfect because it is so the truth. It does not matter where we live, what house we live in, what state we live in. Home is my husband, my boys, and even our dogs. So home is wherever we are together. So this is Home is With You. As you can see, it's just a basic triangular shaped shawl. And there's some texture throughout this first section. Then you've got some garter, some eyelets. It is a 2-color shawl. The yarn that I used is by Artistic Lily, and this color is Early Morning Frost, and then the gray is Winter Cave. And I've loved these 2 colors together since she first posted a picture of them way back, and then she sent them to me for yarn support for a pattern. And Winter Cave is actually, I used that for the Rhinebeck is Calling fingerless mitts. So in this shawl I used the 70, I think I had 72 grams left, so I used it in here. But you could of course do this, it would look gorgeous in one solid or tonal color, one slightly speckled color, or do minis for some of these sections. Give them some pops. That would look really cool as well. So yes, this is my shawl design, and I am so pleased with how it came out. I wanted something that would be beginner friendly, and then for maybe more experienced knitters, it would be that mindless knit that we all crave sometimes. And I think this totally fits the bill for that. It is fun, but at the same time, very mindless. TV, travel knitting. Yes, I think it's perfect. And I'm so pleased with how it came out. As far as a release date for this, it will be a little while. Not a crazy while, but a little while. My testers have until July 1st to get this done for me. So I'm going to ask for everyone's patience to have this released. I know when I did like the dots kerchief before, I would get so many messages. Is it out yet? Is it out yet? Is it out yet? Can I go ahead and get it? I'm impatient. I totally appreciate that, being impatient, because I'm impatient as well. But ask for just a little bit of patience, guys, with our move coming up. I didn't want or feel the need to put any kind of crazy time crunch on getting it tested, because things are just going to be too insane for me to think about getting final product pictures and getting everything finalized and getting that up. So July 1st is the deadline for the testers. If it's done, everyone's done before then, and I get it out before then, great. If not, a little bit of patience, guys, and it will be out a little after July 1st. So I hope that you guys love it and that you're excited. I'm so pleased with it, and I cannot wait to see what everybody does with this, because I think it is just so classic looking when done with colors like this or a solid color. It would look gorgeous. It is fingering weight as well, by the way. I don't think I said that. It is a fingering weight shawl. But like I said, you could use minis for like the garter, do a different mini each one or something. I don't know. I think it would be a lot of fun to see all the different ways that everybody could work this up. So I'm really excited to get this released this summer. So that's the last finished object that I have. I'm gonna kind of roll it up here so that it doesn't get really wrinkled, because I'm gonna try to get pictures once we get to Arizona. I mean, like little shawl burrito there. I'll roll that up a little neater later. But I think it would be a lot of fun to get pictures once we're in Arizona. Make it a little bit more special. Maybe out in the desert or something. I don't know. We'll have to see. It's going to be really hot, so that might not work. But we'll see what we can come up with. Works in progress. First, I'm going to show you my May Desert Vista Dye Works socks. The bag I have these in is just a bag that I sewed the summer before last, I think. Nothing crazy. But in here I have the colorway I decided to go with for May for the Desert Vista Dye Works is Winnie the Zombie Pooh. Excuse my nails, you guys. I haven't painted them since I've been home from Maryland. But here it is in a ball, because I have a Swift and winder, and I have the yarn on the Swift. You guys should see this room right now. It's kind of crazy. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But you'll have noticed I don't have my pictures and stuff on the wall back here. That should tell you part of what's going on. We're just prepping for the move, but the table is just full of stuff. So I had enough room to get the Swift up, but not the winder, so I just balled it up by hand. And I attempted to do, like, you know how you see the self-striping in the balls that are all pretty? This was my attempt. This was my fail. Yarn fail. Hashtag yarn fail. Big time. Yeah. Not that pretty. How do they do that? The self-striping yarn dyers that do them in these pretty little balls. I don't know how they do it, because maybe I just don't have the patience. That's probably it. It was harder than it seemed like it would be. But that's the yarn. And I got a little bit of work done on these, or actually a good bit of work done on these while we were in Maryland. These were kind of my knit night, where we were sitting and knitting, out to eat, that type of thing. So here's where I am. And I love how this is working up. This is the first, I think this is the first of her self-striping, because she does the zombody where it's like a speckled stripe. And this is the first one I've used with that, I think, of the zombody line. I have a couple, but I think this is the first one I've used. So that's where I am so far. And because I know I will probably get a question, these light bulb stitch markers, I mark every 10 rows to keep track of where I am on the sock. And then I'm going to do an afterthought heel, so I have my heel marked right there, ready to go. And for these, I'm using my ChowGoo red lace, US 1 2.25 millimeters, and I've cast on 64 stitches. What I'm going to do with these is an afterthought everything sock. I've done one before last July, and I really enjoyed it. I've just never done another one. I was all gung-ho to do another one, and I just never have. Well, then my friend Tanya did one last month for her Desert Vista Dye Works, so I thought I'm going to do that for May. So I'm just going to keep on knitting. If you've never heard of an afterthought everything sock, I believe there is a pattern. You might just search on Ravelry, but I just kind of went with it and winged it in last July, and that's what I'm going to do again. But you just knit a huge long tube and you end with a cuff on the other end. So I've marked for my first heel. Now I'm going to knit the foot, and then I will mark for the toe. Then I'll knit the foot again, mark for the heel, and knit the leg again. And then the cuff, and then bind off at the other end. So I'll of course show you guys as we go along. I doubt it will be done by the next time I podcast. But even if I have the tube done, I'll try to wait to cut in for everything, and I'll show you guys the tube or something maybe. But that's where I am on those. I'm trying to get them done before the end of the month because the last week in May is when we have so much going on with the move that I don't really want to let these sit. Because if it comes down to doing them last minute like I did last month, I won't have the time. And I don't want to mess up on the year-long knit-along because of the move. So I'm going to try to get them done before the last week of the month. That's the goal. All right, next work in progress is a half finished object, and I have this in my Daisy Girl and Company bag with the see-through pocket or on the front. And in here, since it's showing right there, I'll show you guys, I have a sock ruler. I don't know if I've shown this before. I probably have. I love these. The website is sockruler.com, but I do know some Etsy stores carry them as well. And I've just marked, I didn't mark for the boys because their feet are still growing, so I didn't feel like there was a point. But I've marked for me right here, so I know that's where I start my heel. Eric's is right there, so that's where I start his heel. And I just did it in pencil right on there. And I would actually like to get another one of these to have in different projects bags. But I've got that in here. And here's the finished sock that I have. The pattern I'm using for this is my Rhinebeck Roomies pattern, and I love the texture that this gives. It is such a simple, easy repeat, a 4-row repeat, and it gives a little bit of like a ribbed look, but a lot of texture, and I think it looks really great with self-striping. I love it in self-striping. It doesn't really mess, like you get, sometimes you'll get an occasional purl bump there that looks like that. But most of the time you just get clean, even stripes still. So yeah, it doesn't bother me at all. So this is the Rhinebeck Roomies pattern. The yarn that I'm using is Knit Picks Felici in the Cheshire Grin. And I wanted to say about this because when I've had comments on YouTube and on Instagram about when I've shared my Felici socks, because I've done quite a few of them lately, that people will go to Knit Picks and look for the yarn and it's not available. The way Knit Picks does their Felici, if you're new to it, they release colorways. Once those are done, once they sell out of those, they don't come back with those same colorways. They wait, I don't know if it's like 3 months or what it is, and then they put out new colorways. So I've been suggesting to people, and I've actually had a couple people find the yarn this way. If you see a colorway that you're wanting, that I'm doing or anyone's doing out of Felici, go to Ravelry and search the D-Stash. A couple people have found the colorways they've wanted that way because maybe people buy it and they don't end up liking it, or they just, you know how it is, you D-Stash some of your yarn sometimes. So check D-Stash. That's my tip for you today if you're wanting Felici. Which, come on, they've got to be coming out with some new colors soon, right? Does anyone have, like, in the know with Felici? With Knit Picks? When will Felici be out again? It's probably going to be right in the middle of my move when I don't have, like, an address, which we'll talk about house hunting later. That's probably what's going to happen. It's going to be right in the middle of my move. They're going to come out with new Felici because I'm bad, and I've ordered like every single colorway they've had out of the last 3 because I think Felici is amazing for gift knits. So even if I don't particularly like the color, I know Wyatt will use socks out of it. Eric will. I can make them and gift them to my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my sister. Great for gift knits. So that's what this is. This is a gift. And I have to have the other one done by Sunday. And you want to see how far I am? Not very far. That's all I've done. I can can do it, right? I did this in the car on the way up and on the way back. This was my car knitting for the Maryland trip. I just love it. I love this pattern in self-striping. I forgot how much I love it until I started doing it again. So I'm doing this on US 1 2.25 millimeter Knitter's Pride or Knit Pro Zings, which I am completely in love with. You'll see that in just a bit in the Maryland haul. But if you'll see, I'm doing them backwards. So I had somebody get confused when I talked about reversing the stripes. They thought that there was a problem with the yarn, that it was done the wrong way and it was a mistake of the dyer's part. No. There's a couple I've done in reverse on purpose. One I did not do on purpose, but that was because I wound the yarn up in 2 separate balls and didn't pay attention to which way I wound them. But I do self-striping in reverse on purpose sometimes, because then you don't have to, I feel like you don't have to worry about everything matching exactly, because that can be a pain to get things to match exactly. But if you do them in reverse, the socks still look like they're matching. They're just going in opposite directions, the stripes are. So I like knowing them that way. And I cast on 64 stitches for these. I don't know if I said that. And if you're interested in the Rhinebeck Roomies pattern, it is available on Ravelry. I will put a link down below. That is it for works in progress, really. Of course, I have others, but these socks got the most work with the trip. And then I worked a lot on my shawl and the mystery knit along. So yeah, but I will show you, I'm working on a new sock design. And this is in a bag from Sandy of By the Lakeside. And I'm not going to show you the design, but I will show you the yarn. So the yarn that I'm using is by Knit Circus Yarns, and it is one of their gradients. And the colorway is As You Wish. So they come in 2 separate matching gradients. So like I said, I won't show you this design just yet because I'm not 100% set on if I'm going to keep it this way or change a couple of things. But that's the yarn that I'm using. And I want to show you this as well. This is part of the Maryland haul, I guess, a little early, but I received a gift from Denise of the Earth Tones Girl podcast, and she had this in there, this needle cozy. How cute is that? And she said that she thought it matched my logo as well, which it totally does. I'm so excited about it. And then she's got her tag in there, and she doesn't have an Etsy shop or anything like that, but I wanted to share that with you guys because I thought that was so cute and sweet and thoughtful. Just perfect. So yes, that's a peek at the new design. It will be in a gradient yarn. And I'm about almost to the heel. The way that the gradients are, they have 3 different sizes that you can get. There's a small set, which is 2 cakes of 100 yards, 50 grams total. A medium set, which is what I have in here, which is 2 cakes of 150 yards, 75 grams total. And then the large set, which is 2 cakes of 200 yards, 100 grams total. Everything's listed on there, and I've got the medium set. So I typically use about 75 grams, typically about 73, 75 on socks, but this is a little bit of a plumper yarn. It is an 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. But it feels a little bit plumper than like a typical, like what you get from an indie dyed fingering. So I don't think I'm going to be able to make the leg quite as long because I want to make sure I use up as much of the gradient as I can, but obviously I don't want to run out when I'm at the toe or something. So kind of just going to have to mess with it a little bit and see how far I can get. But I think that is it for finished objects. Now I did receive a couple of things in the mail that I want to show you, and then we are going to talk about the Maryland haul and the trip and everything about Maryland. So I received the 2 sweetest packages since the last time I've podcasted. the first one, I'm going to show you just the one that I received first. Not in any order by favorites, because you could not make me pick a favorite out of these two things that I received. They are both amazing. So the first thing I received in the mail is from my friend Sandy of By the Lakeside podcast, and she also has an Etsy shop. And she sent me a bag. And both of these packages were complete and total surprises, which I love surprises, and I especially love getting surprises in the mail. Like, there's nothing better than opening your mailbox and you have a package, or it's on your front porch or something, and you're just like, what's in there? I have no idea. Like, getting knitting stuff in the mail, period, is exciting, but if it's a surprise, whoa, like, that's really exciting. So, anyways, I'm such a dork, but I'm sure a lot of you can completely relate with my excitement. So Sandy sent me this bag, which I absolutely love. I think she did this fabric as like a kit with the Hey Sister Yarn Co. ladies, and I loved it then, and oh my gosh. So this is a good sized bag, and I already know what I'm going to use it for, but she also put a bunch of tees, David's tees. So excited. And then she sent me one of her pins. Such a nice surprise package. So what I'm doing with this, I'm going to I have some yarn picked out that is Amber of Maker's Haven yarn, and I'm going to wind that up, and it's going to be a Tegna. I'm going to put it in here with the pattern, the needles, have everything ready, and then when I get to the hotel in Arizona, this is going to be my hotel knitting, because that'll be perfect. The Tegna seems, you've got the lace at the bottom, and then it's tons of mindless knitting. I think it'll be a great project. So I'm excited to get everything in here for the Tegna, and I think that'll be great hotel knitting. So the next thing that I received, the next surprise package I received in the mail is this beautiful bag, and there's some goodies inside too, from Amy of Little Tailoress, formerly Little Tailoress. She has done a brand name change, and she is a Dandelion and Dogwood now, which I think is just so perfect and fitting for her. So this is a kit that Amy had, a Happy Trails kit, and I was so in love with the kit, but I didn't end up purchasing one, and she sent me the kit. So it included this bag, which is just absolutely stunning, and there's a matching little Notions pouch. So adorable. And then some self-striping yarn. This is what I'm talking about. Amy doesn't have a yarn fail when she winds her yarn so pretty. Look at that. Mine didn't look that good. But there's her tag, which, like I said, she is formerly Little Tailoress. There's a cute stitch marker, and then also a mini that matches. So this, since it's Happy Trails, about traveling, I'm going to make this my airplane knitting. I'm going to make socks, of course, for when we are traveling to Arizona, when we fly out. So I'm excited to get these cast on and ready to go for travel knitting. I just can't. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Amy. I've told you guys thank you already, but I just can't thank you guys enough. Sweet little unexpected packages are just the best. You guys, they're just the best. So that's all that I received in the mail. And there was also some chocolate in Amy's package, and some tea and a little book. But those are over there. The chocolate, there's Rolos, and I'm probably going to eat those while I edit this. I love those. So now you guys, let's talk about Maryland. Let's talk about Maryland. Needles up. There's my needles up bag. And as you can tell, it is completely full. So bad. So I saved and saved and saved for this trip. I budgeted for it. This was my money, you know, that I spent, and I don't regret a single thing. Yeah. Now I just got to save up for Rhinebeck, because there for a while I thought this was the only event that I was going to get to do, so I was really crunching to save, because I thought I'm not going to get to go to any other festivals this year, so I want to make it a good one. But now I'm going to get to go to Rhinebeck too, so I got to start saving for Rhinebeck now, guys. But Maryland, we left Friday morning. Karen of the Full of Knit podcast, and she's my neighbor down the street and in my Friday group, she picked me up at 4:30 a.m. and then we headed to Tanya's house, and she lives just a little ways away up in Havelock, so we went up there, and then Tanya drove up to Maryland and back. We had the most fun. Such a good drive up, so much fun all weekend with those ladies. It took us about 6 hours to get there, so really not as bad as I thought. We had time to get some lunch and then headed into Needles Up a little bit early. We had VIP tickets, so that started at 1. So we headed in there a little bit early and got in line. It was so much fun, you guys. So I have stuff just kind of piled in here and mixed between the days. I'm going to try to go through Needles Up first, and then we'll talk about what I got at Maryland Sheep and Wool next. So I probably should have had this all adjusted beforehand, huh? So first, I'll show you guys this. We were waiting in line. Tristan and Christy of Girls in the Yarn Cafe podcast were the door ladies. They were the bouncers keeping people in line. And they were doing a door prize. So there were amazing door prizes for Needles Up. And Tanya won a door prize while we were waiting in line. I was so excited for her. I thought, what is the chance that she was the second person in line? Me, Tanya, and then Karen, and then the rest of the line, and she won. So that was crazy. And she was so sweet. The door prize was huge to begin with. And then she was so sweet, and she shared the door prize with me and Karen. So she gave me Bundle Up Bobby. Andy of Andre Sue Knits was not there. She was there, but she did not have a booth set up selling her items. I had planned on getting a Bundle Up Bobby because I got a Bundle Up Betty at Needles Up in Rhinebeck last year. She's still in her box over there. When I get to Arizona, that's one thing I've got to do is take them out and put some clothes on them. Like, I gotta knit them some outfits. But Tanya was so sweet, and she gave me a Bundle Up Bobby because she knew I was going to buy him if Andy was there. So now I have Bobby. So that was the first thing that happened at Needles Up. Then when we... Okay, still sorting here. Then, while I was standing in line, I was talking to Sue of Legacy Fiber Arts, and she had me go in and pick out some yarn for designs. So I picked 2 skeins of yarn for sock designs. This one is a parchment, and these are both on their steel toes base, which is a 75-25 superwash merino nylon blend, 463 yards, 100 grams. So these are the 2 I picked. This is parchment. And this is one of their neutrals. And then this is foxtails, which I've just loved this colorway. Every time they post something, and Chelsea's been doing socks with it, I've just been in awe of this colorway. So I got these 2. These will be for future upcoming sock designs. So keep an eye out for those. And then when we got in, since I'm already talking about Legacy Fiber Arts, I'm going to go ahead and show you these. When we got in, I purchased these 2. And this is on their Cozy Toes, which is an 80-10-10 merino cashmere nylon blend. 435 yards to 100 grams. So I purchased these 2, pewter and elephant ears. And then I kind of thought maybe a third color. So this was Sue approved. She approved that this would go with these. So I'm thinking, you know, I could use these, and this is on Cozy Toes as well. They're cashmere. This will be great whether I decide to work up a pattern, 3-color, or even 2-color, and then save this for something else, whatever I decide to do. Or I may use it for design a shawl or a wrap or something with these 3. I love elephant ears. For one, Sue is knitting my gypsy sole socks out of elephant ears, and it looks amazing. And then her grays are perfect. I love this pewter. So I got these 3, to be determined what they will end up being, but something. Then Amy Beth of Fat Squirrel was there. Love her bags, but I don't have an Amy Beth bag, so I needed it. That was definitely a regret from Needles Up Rhinebeck that I did not buy an Amy Beth bag. So this time I bought 2 because I was making up for not buying one at Rhinebeck, right? So I got this little guy. This is a Harry Potter fabric. So perfect. I love it. It has some yarn in here that I'll show you in just a minute because I purchased it at Needles Up. But I got this bag, this little sock-sized bag, and then I knew I wanted to get a library card bag if she had it there. I love it. And it's perfect. I didn't even notice when I bought it. I didn't pay attention to the books that were on here. To Kill a Mockingbird, which is one of my all-time favorites. Little House on the Prairie, another all-time favorite. It is like this was meant to be my bag. Peter Pan. What were some of the other ones? The Secret Garden, Pride and Prejudice. Yeah. It was meant to be my bag. Maybe they all have the same thing on them. I don't know. I'm saying that it was meant to be mine because I love it so much. So I'm so excited about this. And it's a big, huge, and it is a really good size bag. Perfect for a sweater or a large shawl. So those were my purchases from the Fat Squirrel. And then I also, forgot to show that, I got a Legacy Fiber Arts pin from their booth. Then Tuft Woolens was there, and you guys know I'm obsessed with Tuft Woolens. So I got some hand and body balm in the pink grapefruit. Smells so good. That was the first time I've ever smelled the pink grapefruit. And then of course I had to get some Chai Spice sock soap. If you guys have not tried Tuft Woolens, I definitely recommend it. It can be somewhat hard to get your hands on the website. She does sell out a good bit, but it's worth checking every now and then to see if there's any in stock because you will not be sorry. I love it. I've not had a scent from her that I have not loved, but Chai Spice is my absolutely all-time favorite. Yeah, it smells so good. Let's see. What else? There was Sucre was there. Oh, I dropped that one. Sucre was there. So I got a little sheep cookie from her. I think this might have been a special Needles Up one. I'm not positive. But I got one of those. And then the last thing I bought at Needles Up is in the Harry Potter bag because I already caked it up thinking I'm going to start this. And then I never did because that happens. So Fiber Nymph Dye Works was there, and I've seen her yarn, I've followed her on Instagram, but I've never purchased any of her yarn. So there's her label. The colorway I got is What Color Is Your Sheep? And she did this especially for Needles Up to kind of match the bag. So it is a self-striping, I think it says 6 stripes. So that's the cake, and then there is a mini as well. And it's not very well wound because I did it. Tanya had taken her ball winder and Swift, and I was a little crazy with them apparently. I think I was a little tired. I went a little nuts. So, but they're wound and they're ready to go. I was really going to cast them on. I even took extra sock needles with me. I didn't. I just caked them up and put them in the bag. But they're ready when I decide I'm going to cast them on. So that was all that I bought at Needles Up. I did get a couple of gifts. Denise of Earth Tones Girl, I showed you the needle cozy that she sent, or that she gifted me. And then she brought me a mug from New York, one of the You Are Here, or not the You Are Here. Been There? What's their new series called? I'm blanking. Been There series, maybe? She brought me one of those, which I did not have, so I was super excited about that. And some yarn as well. gorgeous, gorgeous. It is called, all of it's not in English, but I did find, oh yes, chocolate marshmallow. Here's the tag. So I can't wait. This will be so much fun in a shawl or something. It is a 70% superwash merino and 30% silk. It feels like heaven. So that was so sweet. And then Tristan of Dragon Horde Yarn gifted me a couple of skeins of yarn. This is her tarot colorway, and Hunter's Moon, which is one that I have just been in love with. I love this right here. Love it. So this, it's gonna go in something. This might be a new sock design or something. I don't know. I love both of those. And Christy of Yarn Cafe Creations gifted me her chocolate orange colorway. Nice. And that, I think that was it for Needles Up. I got some stitch markers, some pins from viewers that came up and said hello. And it was so nice to meet everybody. I should have started talking about Maryland with that. It was so, I have fluff. Okay, I think we're good. It was so nice to meet everybody. Thank you to everybody that came up and said hello. Got a pin. I came home with almost all of my pins being gone. I gave away almost all of the ones that I took, which was amazing. So thank you guys so much. So everyone who gave me a little pin or a stitch marker, I got a picture with me. You guys are the sweetest, and it was so, so wonderful to meet everybody. Chloe's not impressed. Okay, so that wound up Needles Up. We had VIP tickets, so we were done probably by 2 shopping. We got in at 1, done by 2 maybe, but we hung out there until it was almost done, until probably 5, a little after. And then we went and got some food and went back to the hotel. And then a little bit later, Christy and Tristan from Girls in the Yarn Cafe. I always want to get their yarn businesses mixed into that name somehow. But Girls in the Yarn Cafe podcast, they came over and hung out in the hotel lobby for a little bit and knit. It was so stinking hot in that lobby. The air conditioning was broke in the lobby. Thankfully, it was not broke in the rooms, but it was broke in the lobby, so it was miserable in that lobby. But we hung out and knit for a little bit and then headed off to bed and got up the next morning, and we didn't get in any rush to get to the festival. We didn't have anything that we were like, we need to be there when the gate opens and get in and get that. But we got up the next morning, had breakfast, stopped at Starbucks, and headed off to Maryland Sheep and Wool, which was so much fun, so much bigger than I expected it to be. I knew it was a good-sized festival, but there was so much. I think we made it to basically everything, but there was definitely a couple of booths that I'm like Matterroot. I had wanted to look at their bags, and I'm like, I don't remember even seeing their booth. I don't know where it was. I could have walked right by it and just completely missed it, but I don't remember seeing it. So yeah, there was so much that I don't feel like I properly saw everything, but we did very well with all of our shopping. So when we got to the festival, we headed to Miss Babs first, like you do, and got a sweaters quantity, like you do. I love Miss Babs yarns. I feel like for what you get, it is so affordable. So affordable. These are huge. This is 560 yards of a 100% superwash merino, heavy fingering. Kira is the base. Yes. So pretty. This colorway is called Black Watch. So I was thinking maybe the Hohi pattern, called Quiet Stars. I can't remember. The newer one from the latest interpretations where it overlaps in the front and then has a tie. That's kind of what I'm thinking of this, but I'm not positive. It'll just sit until I decide what it's going to be. And I still have a sweaters quantity that I bought at Rhinebeck from Miss Babs, but I just feel like that's what you do because her yarn is so affordable. This was $38 for one. I feel like for 560 yards, that's great. And the yarn's amazing to work with as well. And she has so many amazing colorways. So definitely excited about that and excited to see what it will be. I don't know, we shall see. And I also, the Signature Needle Arts booth was a call in our name. So I got these. Look how cute those are. I was kind of on the fence. I knew I wanted some, but I was on the fence about it until Karen, we went up to the booth and she was buying hers and I was like, okay, I need some because they are just so gorgeous. So I got a 2.5 millimeter needle. I don't know what's, like, my Cozy Memories, it's obviously been a long-term project. On my Ravelry, because that's where I looked to see what needle size I was using, because I couldn't remember. My Ravelry says I was using a 2.5. So obviously I started with a 2.5, but the needles, when I got home, I went to check. The needles that I actually was using on it were a 2.75. So at some point I've switched. Or I thought I was using a 2.5, but I was using a 2.75. I have no idea. But I did do Sunday evening a square with these, and there was not that big of a difference. I just tried to make sure I was knitting a little bit looser. And they were amazing to work with. These are these 7-inch. I am really not sure what tip this is. I don't think it's a stiletto because it's not insanely sharp. I would say maybe the midi. I don't think it's like the bluntest you can get. But they really didn't say, like, or ask what tip you wanted. I just knew I wanted the swirlies. So yes, I got some signatures and I was so excited to get those. Definitely a bit of a splurge because it was $30 some for that, but it'll go for my Cozy Memories and be that special extra little touch when I pull out my Cozy Memories that I have those signatures to work on. Then we were on the hunt for Knitter's Pride Zings, and we found them in a booth. So I got these. I probably would have bought more sock sizes for socks of the Zings, but they were out. So I got, these are both a US 6 4mm. One's a 32-inch and one's a 40-inch. And guys, these Zings, I really cannot say enough good things about them. They are amazing. They're lightweight. The joins are great. And these were only $6.50. What? Like, the price is amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I got those two. And then I had said, if we see an interchangeable set, I will be very tempted to get it. They had an interchangeable set. So I got it. Yeah, no regrets either, because I kind of stood there when we found it and I'm like, do I really want to spend, it was $98 for the interchangeable set. And I thought, do I really want to do that? Yeah, I did. So I did, because I had said I was going to get it if they had it, and they had it. So look at those. I have not used them yet. It goes from US 4 3.5mm up to an 11, I think. Yes, US 11 8mm. I love them. They are just so pretty. And they're so lightweight. I really cannot say enough good things. Now, I don't know how the join is on these. I have not even put any of them together. It has all of the cords and everything in here, so I cannot give a review on these yet, other than they're gorgeous and the needles themselves feel great. I can't give a review on the join or how working with them is, because I have not yet. And then it was kind of strange. They came with earrings, 2 sets of earrings, which have fallen off their things, but I was like, that's kind of weird. But I think they're gorgeous. I think I'm really gonna love them. I hope they stay together. That's always, I feel like Chloe just really wants me to stop talking. I have no idea if you guys can even hear her groaning and carrying on, but I'm interrupting her nap apparently. But what was I even gonna say? The joins, I'm hoping, yeah, that's what I was talking about. I feel like the fear with interchangeables is, are they going to stay together? Because you do get some, and sometimes you may just get one needle out of an entire set that doesn't want to stay connected to the cable, even if you use the key. That's happened to me before with nip picks. I love my nip picks interchangeables, but I have had problems with them staying together every now and then, just a couple needles. For the most part, they're great. But hopefully these will stay together. A lot of rambling there. I'll let you guys know a full review once I start using them. I think when I get everything ready for my Tegna in the sandy bag, I'm going to put these needles in there, the size out of here that I need for those, so that I can see if I like them. And I think I will, because I love the fixed. I love the DPNs. And I'll try to do, once I've used them and I have more of an opinion on them, I'll do a full review and I'll take everything out of the pouch and show you guys what all you get with an interchangeable set like this. So look for that in the future. What else? What else? So I think the only other thing might be this. I think this is the only other thing. So Tanya had ordered from a yarn company, Bumblebee Acres. I had never heard of them. She had ordered some yarn from them and she knew they were going to be there and she wanted to go look. So they actually went and looked while I was at the podcaster meetup. And then when I saw the yarn, we had to go back because I wanted some. So like I said, I'd never heard of them, never seen their yarn. I was blown away by what Tanya and Karen got. So I grabbed three skeins. This one is, there was a lot of Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Doctor Who. I'm trying to think what other kind of fandoms there were. Those are the ones that are popping out in my head, but there may have been even more than that. This one is Doctor Who. It is called Space Time Continuum. Look at the collars in that. And this is on their squishy sock. I got all squishy sock. Superwash merino 75%, nylon 25%, 463 yards. And they are out of Illinois. And I'll put a link to their website. All of the things I've shown, I'll try to put a link down below to the website of the maker. But this is Space Time Continuum. Then I got Strawberry Jumble. I love this one and I wish I would have bought a second one because I could have done a Tegna out of this. And I think that would be gorgeous. Yeah, there was like 3 or 4 hanging there. I wish I would have got a second one. But this is Strawberry Jumble. And the third one I got is Mrs. Weasley's Knits. Look at that. I just think their colorways were so gorgeous. I could have bought even more, but I limited myself to 3. Like I said, I'm really wishing I would have bought a second one of the Strawberry Jumble, but these are so pretty. I cannot wait to do socks out of this and see how that works up with all those different colors. And they had a shawl hanging up that was out of the Space Time Continuum, and it looked gorgeous worked up. So I got those 3, and I really think that's it. Showed you signatures. Yeah, I think that's all. That's enough, right? That was a little crazy. But it was an amazing event. The podcaster meetup was a lot of fun. Not anything as crazy as Rhinebeck, but there was so many wonderful people that I got to meet. And then after we left Maryland Sheep and Wool, we went out to dinner with Christy and Tristan at Ten Oaks Tavern. Yes, Ten Oaks Tavern. It was about 6 to 10 minutes or something from the fairgrounds. So it was right there, close by. It was a local place. The food was amazing. And then we went back to Christy and Tristan's bed and breakfast that they were staying in, and we knit until, gosh, after 9 o'clock probably. I can't remember what time we went back to the hotel, but it was so much fun. It was great to get to spend some time with them, and I'm so looking forward to staying with them at Rhinebeck. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. It was definitely a bit of a whirlwind weekend, and I am so sorry that I did not vlog. Like I said, it was so much just in the moment, enjoying everyone's company, visiting with everyone, meeting everyone, that I didn't realize that I didn't barely take any pictures, not take any video until it was over with. And I was like, what? That's how it was at Needles Up. And then I was like, well, I just missed half of, what I would have videoed. So I just let it go at that and did not video anything the rest of the weekend. But any pictures that I have, I will put up at the end of the episode here. And the pins that I took, I want to mention this because I've gotten so many questions about this. People wanting to know if they can buy them. Not at this time. That's something I had not even, it didn't even cross my radar to offer them to purchase. Maybe in the future, but at this time, I do not have the brain space, the time. It just would not work with us getting ready to move right now to start selling anything like that at the moment that I would have to worry about mailing out. And no, not right now, guys. Maybe later, maybe. We'll see once I'm settled and really have the brain space to think about pricing them and shipping them, what all of that, how that would add up. And then maybe. It's a maybe. But I've had a lot of questions about it, so I did want to address that and let you guys know that they are not for sale right now. Right now, they are just something, if you see me out and you want a pin, ask for a pin, or I send them a lot. If you win a prize on the podcast, I usually try to include a pin. But at this time, they're not available for sale. If they do become available to purchase in the future, you guys, of course, will be the first ones to know. It'll be on Instagram. I'll announce it on the podcast and all of that. So maybe in the future, if there is enough interest still going forward, but not right now. Now, just for a little bit of chatter. If you are not sticking around, thank you so much for watching the podcast. If you're a new viewer, thank you for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed the podcast. If you're a returning viewer, as always, thank you so much for coming back. It's always fun to get to spend a little bit of time with you guys every few weeks. So chatter for this week, looking at my notes to make sure I don't forget anything. My mother-in-law's coming on Friday for a weekend visit, her last visit before our move. So it'll be a lot of fun to get to spend some time with her. The boys don't know she's coming. We usually just leave that to be a surprise. And that kind of cuts back on the when's she going to be here? When's she going to be here? When's she going to be here? Questions. You know how kids are. So we just don't tell them that anyone's coming, and then they get a nice surprise, and that's always a lot of fun. But I think we'll probably have one more episode before the move. I think. As long as things don't get too crazy, I'm going to try to stick to 2 weeks and do one more episode before we move. We'll see. If I don't get it put up, I'll of course let you guys know. But I will try to do, even if it's just a short little episode, to kind of update you guys on what's going on in my knitting. I think it'll work out to have one more before we move. And house hunting, thank you guys so much for all of your comments, messages, support, prayers, thoughts, everything with the house hunting. We have found a house. I'm not going to give too many details on it just yet, but I will definitely share all about the house, probably once we're out in Arizona. And in the house, you guys will get to see it here and there on Instagram and the podcast and all of that. So that was a huge relief and load off stress just to actually know that we have a house now. So it's amazing and I'm so excited about it. But like I said, I'll share more about that once we are out in Arizona. So I'm going to start packing up my yarn next week for the move once my mother-in-law's gone, I think, because this room's already such a disaster. You can see the pictures are gone. I pointed that out earlier, I think. But the pictures are gone that are usually back here. Eric took almost everything off the wall. There's still a couple of my Papal's guitars are still up there, and there's still some posters up in the boys' rooms, but everything is off of the walls in the house. So it looks pretty bare in here right now. I love having stuff hung up. Just gives more of a homey, cozy feel. So everything's bare in here because, you got to patch up the holes in the wall from the nails and all of that. So he took all of those down and he's going to get started on that since he leaves before we do. that's something that he wants to handle, so he has to get it done before the movers even get here. So this room has kind of become the collect-all. There's stuff piled on the table, stuff behind the table leaning against the wall. Everything that came off of the walls is in this room. And so I think I'll wait until my mother-in-law leaves, because this room is definitely going to be crazy once I start bagging up all of my yarn and get it out of that hutch and off the cubbies. It's going to get a little crazy in here. And I'm starting to think about what I want to pack for my knitting. I know, like I said, I'm going to do the Tegna, and then the kit, the Amy sent. Those are going to be 2 projects I take with me. What I'm going to do is take the kit Amy sent me, and then maybe my June Desert Vista Dye Work socks for kind of travel knitting for June 1st when we fly out. And then I'll send with Eric a bag with yarn and knitting projects. And that's what the Tegna, I'll put that in that bag. And probably my mix and match cardigan and my Shoe Suey Shrug. Those are bigger projects that I won't finish super duper quick. And those will be great for hotel knitting and kind of in between knitting for when we're unpacking and, you know, my yarn is not easily accessible, because I'm not going to have, we do have a formal dining room in the new house, but the way that it's set up, which when I show you guys the house, if I show you guys, you know, a little walkthrough or something, you'll see what I mean. But it's not really an area that I want to have my yarn in. It's right by the sliding back doors to the back porch. And if you've lived in Arizona, you know it can be pretty dusty, and the backyard, we have some landscaping and stuff to do. So I don't know. I don't really want my yarn sitting right by the back door to get dusty and the dogs going in and out. So I think the area that I'm going to, of course, once we actually see the house and walk through it, I might change my mind, but I think I'm going to do cabinets at the top of the stairs. There, it looks like it's a pretty wide area. It's called a mini loft. Not wide enough to put chairs, a table, anything like that, but I'm thinking cabinets all along the wall at the top of the stairs with doors, and I think that'll work good. Then I can close them. The yarn will be kept away from the dust as much as possible. The dogs don't mess with the yarn. It's out in here, and they don't mess with it, so I'm not worried about them. But there is a possibility that we might be getting a cat. That's something Wyatt and I have always wanted to do, and yeah, we might do that out there. So yeah, cat free. Keep the cat away from the yarn because I know they love to snuggle them. So I'm thinking something with doors at the top of the stairs to store it. I don't know. I could completely change my mind once we get there and I get more of a feel for the house, because all we've seen are pictures, so that can be a bit deceiving. So we will see, but I think that's where I'm going. That's where I'm at with it at the moment, and I'll probably do a trip to IKEA. There's an IKEA, I think it's south of Phoenix, maybe. I can't remember. I know I Googled it, but a trip to IKEA and see what I can find as far as storage that will fit right there. I'm excited to kind of decorate and be able to do more. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So we'll see what I end up doing with that. I had really wanted a craft room, yarn room, a room to be able to set up podcasting stuff and not have to take everything completely down and store it away when I'm done. But that didn't work out with the house we ended up finding, but it's totally fine. I will have space to have storage for my yarn, which is really all that I need. We do have a spare room in the house, but that will be a guest room / man cave for Eric. Eric is a musician. He plays guitar. So he, you know, his hobby that he has of playing guitar, guitars, amps, they are not that easy to store in a cabinet like yarn is. So he is going to take over that room. And like I said, it'll also be a guest room when we have a guest come to visit. So I'm totally fine with having cabinets whether I decide to put them like in the living room or the top of the stairs, the master bedroom, I don't know where they'll end up being, but I'm fine with that. It's perfectly fine. So we're super excited to have found a house, that everything is getting closer. I had a couple of people ask or comment that I seemed so calm about the move. And I just try to take it day by day, really, because if I start to think about everything that has to get done, it does get very overwhelming to think about that. So I just take it day by day, schedule things as we need to, have a list, lots of lists, the calendar with everything on it, and just do everything as it comes time to do it. So sometimes I'm not as calm on the inside when I think about it, but for the most part, I'm pretty calm about it. And the boys are excited. I think Austin's getting a little upset more as we get closer to him saying goodbye to his friends, but they are excited to get out there and get settled in the new house. And I think that's it for today. This is probably, I hope this is not going to be too long. I had to take a break in the middle, so I am not sure how long each segment is. So thank you guys so much for watching today. I hope that you enjoyed the episode. Thank you if you stuck around to listen to my rambling about the move. I'm very excited about it, if you can't tell. I'm excited. I'm sad to be leaving all of my knitting friends and my knitting group. I am so sad, and I just try not to think about that. But I'm very sad to be leaving them, but I always get so excited about new possibilities and new things in new places when we move. And this one so far is going to have some firsts for us that are going to be a lot of fun, I think. Or I hope anyways. So kind of cryptic, I guess, in that sense for you guys, not spilling all of the beans yet, but we're excited, and I'm going to wait to share everything until it comes time to share it. But yes, but that's it. I'll stop talking in cryptic messages there, and thank you guys again for watching. I hope that you have a good couple of weeks, that you get a lot of knitting done, and I will see you guys again, hopefully from here in North Carolina. If not, it'll be in Arizona. So I'll see you guys again soon. Happy knitting. Bye.